You are not merely a product of your circumstances, you are the creator of them. The world you experience is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. If you wish to be the best, you must first assume that you already are. Do not wait for the world to confirm it. The world only echoes what you have declared within. Act as though you are the best, and reality will bend to your assumption. Assumption creates reality. This is the great secret hidden in plain sight, a truth so simple yet so powerful that few truly grasp its significance. What you assume to be true in the depths of your mind inevitably finds its way into the world of form. Every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter, is nothing more than a reflection of the state you persistently occupy within. To act as though you are the best, you must first assume the feeling of being the best. It is not about wishing, hoping, or desiring. It is about knowing. The moment you take on the assumption that you are the best, the world must rearrange itself to reflect this belief. This is not speculation, it is a law as certain as gravity. The outer world is only a mirror, faithfully reflecting the inner world you cultivate. Most people make the mistake of looking to the external world for confirmation before they believe. They wait for others to acknowledge their greatness, for opportunities to present themselves, for conditions to change before they accept a new identity. But this is moving in reverse. It is not the world that dictates who you are. It is who you are within that dictates. If you assume the identity of the best, you will begin to think, speak, and act in alignment with that assumption, and the world will follow suit. Consider the great individuals throughout history. Were they recognized as the best before they believed in their own greatness? No, they first assumed it within themselves. The artist who creates a masterpiece does not wait for the world's approval before calling himself an artist. The leader who commands respect does not wait for permission before stepping into his authority. They act from their assumption, and the world simply conforms. Right now, at this very moment, you have the power to assume a new reality. You can drop the limitations imposed by past experiences, by doubt, by fear, and step into the awareness that you are already the best. How would you feel if you were the best? How would you walk, talk, and carry yourself? What thoughts would fill your mind? Immerse yourself in that feeling as if it were already true, for that feeling is the key that unlocks the door to your new reality. This is not about arrogance or empty self-deception. It is about understanding that creation begins within. You do not pretend to be the best. You assume the state of being the best. There is a profound difference. Pretending implies that you are not, while assuming declares that you already are. And what you declare with conviction, life must reflect back to you. The world responds to your assumptions, whether they are conscious or unconscious. If you assume lack, failure, or mediocrity, those conditions will manifest effortlessly. But if you assume success, mastery, and greatness, then those will be the experiences drawn into your life. This is why it is essential to guard your inner dialogue, for what you continually affirm within shapes the world without. Doubt may whisper that you are not ready, that you have not yet proven yourself, but proof is not required before assumption. Assumption is the cause. Proof is merely the effect. Do not concern yourself with the current evidence of your senses. What appears now is only the shadow of past assumptions. Change your assumption, and the shadow must change as well. Each morning, before the world has had a chance to impose its limitations upon you, remind yourself, I am the best. Not someday, not when conditions improve, but now. Feel it as if it were already true. Let this assumption guide your actions, your words, and your very being. And as you persist, watch as the world begins to reflect your inner conviction, molding itself to the reality you have chosen to embody. The note, live from the end. This is the key to transformation, the bridge between where you stand and where you desire to be. To act as if you are the best is not to hope, wish, or try. It is to move through life with the certainty that it is already done. The greatest mistake people make is to wait for evidence before they believe, to seek validation from the outer world before they assume their new state. But this is not how creation works. The world is only a reflection of your inner state, and if you persist in seeing yourself as lesser, as incomplete, as someone still striving, then the world will only give you more of the same. To live from the end is to occupy fully and completely the consciousness of already having achieved your goal. It is to no longer see yourself as someone becoming the best, but as someone who already is. The shift is subtle but profound. The man who wishes to be wealthy but continues to see himself as poor will always struggle, for his inner world contradicts his desire. But the man who assumes wealth, who moves through life with the certainty that he is already prosperous, will inevitably draw wealth to him. The same is true for being the best. If you act as if you are on the way to greatness, then you are always on the way and never actually there. But if you act as though you already are the best, as though it is an undeniable fact, then life has no choice but to reflect that assumption back to you. This is not about external performance, but about internal conviction. Many people act with effort, trying to prove something, trying to convince others of their worth. But when you truly live from the end, there is no effort, no trying, there is only being. The one who assumes mastery does not need to persuade anyone. Their very presence carries authority. The one who knows they are the best does not seek validation, for they already know. And because they know, the world must respond accordingly. The mind is always searching for proof, but proof comes after belief, not before. The greatest achievers did not wait for success before they felt successful. They assumed the role, embodied the feeling, lived from the end, and the world adjusted itself to match. Look at any great athlete, artist, or leader. They did not become great because the world told them they were. They became great because they first assumed it within themselves. The applause, the recognition, the external confirmation, those were all secondary. The inner knowing came first. You must learn to disregard appearances, to ignore what your senses tell you if they contradict your assumption. The world may not yet reflect your greatness, but it does not matter. What matters is that you persist in the feeling of already being the best. If you let the outside world dictate your belief, you remain a slave to circumstances. But if you hold firm to your inner state, circumstances must shift. Reality must conform to the assumption you refuse to abandon. When you move through life as if you are already the best, everything about you changes. Your posture, your speech, your thoughts, all align with this new state. You no longer hesitate, no longer second guess yourself, because doubt has no place in one who's already arrived. Others may not see it at first. They may question, resist, or even mock your conviction. But if you persist, they will have no choice but to acknowledge what you have already declared as truth. Each moment offers you a choice: to live as though your desire is still distant, or to live as though it is already yours. Choose the latter. Walk, speak, and think as the best, not as one striving to be. Hold the assumption with unwavering faith, and soon the world will catch up to the reality you have already claimed within. Ignore the evidence of the senses. This is the great challenge, the test of faith, the key to mastering reality. The world you see with your physical eyes is nothing more than the shadow of past assumptions, the residue of previous states of mind. If you wish to be the best, you must not look to the outside world for confirmation, for it will only show you what you have previously believed to be true. For $50,000. Doesn't matter now. Just dig deeper, look down, go on without moral interference. Hit your unitus and done. Sit down, your litmus. Instead, you must hold firm to your inner assumption, even when everything around you seems to contradict it. Most people are prisoners of their senses. They allow what they see, hear, and experience to dictate what they believe about themselves. If the world tells them they are not the best, they accept it as fact. If circumstances seem unfavorable, they become discouraged. But the truth is, reality is not fixed. It is fluid, ever-changing, and it bends to the assumptions you persist in holding. The key is to train yourself to look beyond appearances, to trust the unseen reality you are creating within. When you decide to act as if you are the best, the world may not immediately reflect your new assumption. People may still see you as you were before. Circumstances may remain the same, and doubts may creep in. This is the moment of testing. Will you surrender to what your senses show you, or will you persist in your new belief? Those who fail allow external reality to dictate their internal state. But those who succeed understand that the outer world is always lagging behind the inner world. If you persist in your assumption, the world must eventually conform. Imagine a sculptor working on a block of marble. In the beginning, the shape is rough, undefined, unrecognizable. But the sculptor does not despair. for he knows the form he is creating already exists within the stone. He ignores what it looks like in the moment and continues carving, trusting that his vision will emerge. This is how you must treat your own transformation. Ignore the rough, unformed state of your current reality. See only the masterpiece that is being revealed through your persistence. There will be moments when doubt whispers that nothing is changing, that your assumption is meaningless, that the world is too solid to be altered by mere belief. But this is an illusion. The moment you accept the truth of your new state, the transformation has already begun. You may not see the effects instantly, but they are in motion, rearranging the world around you to align with your new assumption. The mistake most people make is abandoning their belief too soon, returning to their old state because they see no immediate change. But the process is like planting a seed. Growth happens beneath the surface before it becomes visible. You must learn to trust in what you cannot yet see. Feel yourself to be the best, even when no one acknowledges it. Carry yourself as the best, even when the world tells you otherwise. When you ignore the evidence of the senses, you free yourself from the prison of the past. You become the master of your destiny, no longer at the mercy of external conditions. Those who have achieved greatness did not do so because the world confirmed their worth in advance. They persisted in their belief long before anyone else saw it. The athlete who dominates the field, the artist who captivates the world, the leader who inspires millions, none of them waited for permission. They ignored the limitations placed upon them and lived as though their success was inevitable. You must do the same. Let the world say what it will. Let appearances suggest what they may. It does not matter. What matters is the conviction within you. Assume you are the best and persist, unmoved by what your senses show you. And in time, the world will have no choice but to acknowledge the truth you have already declared. Feeling is the secret. It is not enough to simply say you are the best, to think it in fleeting moments or to affirm it mechanically. You must feel it as real. The subconscious mind does not respond to empty words. It responds to the feeling behind them. The state you occupy within yourself, the emotions you dwell in, the certainty with which you claim your greatness. This is what shapes your reality. If you wish to be the best, then you must feel with absolute conviction what it is like to already be the best. Most people try to force change through external effort, but effort without the corresponding feeling is powerless. A person may work tirelessly, yet if they secretly feel inadequate, the world will mirror that feeling back to them. Another may do less, yet because they feel their own greatness, they move through life with an ease that draws success to them effortlessly. The difference lies in the feeling they carry. Feeling is the bridge between imagination and reality, the force that breathes life into your assumption. When you close your eyes and imagine yourself at the peak of success, do not merely see it, feel it. Let the sensation of mastery flood your being. How would it feel to walk through the world as the best? How would you breathe, speak, and carry yourself? If you truly felt that you were the best, hesitation would vanish, doubt would disappear. There would be no need to prove anything to anyone, for you would know beyond question that your greatness is already a fact. The mind often resists new assumptions because it clings to what it has previously accepted as true. If you have spent years feeling ordinary, the idea of being extraordinary may seem unnatural at first. But feeling is like a muscle. It strengthens with use. The more you practice assuming the feeling of being the best, the more natural it becomes, until eventually it is not something you are trying to feel. The great secret is that your external world is a reflection of your internal state. Many believe that success will bring the feeling of greatness, but the truth is the opposite. The feeling of greatness must come first, and success follows as a natural consequence. You do not wait for evidence to feel successful. You feel successful, and then the evidence appears. This is the way creation works. The world does not shape your feelings shape the world. There is no need to wait for a reason to feel like the best. You do not need applause, recognition, or external validation. You have the power to feel it now, in this moment. The moment you claim that feeling, life begins to shift. Your actions, thoughts, and even the way others perceive you will align with this new inner state. You will find yourself making decisions with confidence, speaking with authority, and moving with certainty. Because you are no longer acting, you are being. If at any moment doubt arises, do not fight it. Simply return to the feeling. Let it wash over you until it becomes second nature. This is the true art of manifestation. To live in the assumption of the wish fulfilled, to feel in every fiber of your being that you are already what you desire to be. The world may not immediately reflect it, but that is of no consequence. Reality must conform to your inner state. It is a law that cannot be broken. Choose now to feel it. Close your eyes and step into the version of yourself who already knows they are the best. Let that feeling take root in your mind and body. Persist in it. Saturate yourself with it. And as surely as the sun rises, your world will transform to match the truth you have embraced within. Persist and revise. This is the great secret to shaping your reality, to becoming the best in any field, in any endeavor, in any version of yourself that you choose to occupy. Most people assume a state once, only to abandon it when the world does not immediately reflect it. They waver, allowing circumstances to dictate their beliefs instead of standing firm in the knowing that their assumption is law. But the key to true transformation is persistence, the unwavering commitment to your chosen state, regardless of what appears before you. To be the best, you must persist in the assumption that you already are. This means maintaining the inner conviction even when external conditions seem unchanged. It means holding to your vision when doubt creeps in, when the world contradicts you, when nothing yet confirms your new reality. The one who persists in their assumption, despite appearances, is the one who inevitably sees their world conform. Reality is not instantaneous. It is a delayed reflection of what you have consistently assumed to be true. The process is as certain as planting a seed. You do not dig it up each day to check its growth. You trust that in time it will manifest. But persistence alone is not enough. You must also revise. Many carry with them old beliefs, past failures, and unwanted memories that contradict their desired state. These remnants of the past continue to play out because they have been accepted as part of one's identity. To fully embody the best version of yourself, you must revise any lingering beliefs that suggest otherwise. Revision is the act of mentally rewriting past experiences so that they align with the state you now choose to occupy. If in the past you believed yourself to be average, weak, or unworthy, then you must revise those assumptions. Instead of remembering failure, see it as a stepping stone to your inevitable greatness. Instead of recalling rejection, imagine that it was always leading you toward your success. The past only exists as you remember it, and since memory is malleable, you have the power to change it. What you revise in your imagination becomes the new foundation upon which your reality is built. Each night, before sleep, reflect on the events of the day. If anything occurred that does not align with your ideal self, revise it. Replay the scene in your mind, but this time see it unfold exactly as you wish it had. Feel it as real. By doing this, you are impressing a new reality upon the subconscious mind, and it must express itself accordingly. This practice alone can transform your life, for it erases doubts, strengthens your belief, and keeps you firmly rooted in your chosen state. Doubt may whisper that persistence is futile, that revision is self-deception. But this is merely the voice of the old self, the one who is bound by appearances, by past conditioning, by external validation. You must silence this voice through continued assumption. When the world tempts you to react, to return to your previous state, remind yourself that what you see is only the result of past thoughts. Your new assumption, held with unwavering faith, is already in motion. Every great individual who has ever achieved mastery has done so through persistence. They did not let temporary setbacks define them. They did not allow a single failure to dictate their future. They persisted in their vision despite all opposition until the world had no choice but to reflect their inner certainty. You must do the same. The path is simple. Assume the feeling of being the best. Persist in that assumption and revise anything that contradicts it. Do this, and it is impossible for your world to remain the same. The moment you refuse to accept anything less than your chosen reality, life must conform to your decision. Persist and revise until the world mirrors the truth you have claimed within.